The Land of Delicacies. Familiar Land was a good way to ease you into the new adventures, but this is going to be introducing a whole lot of new stuff. Also, there is something of a food theme going on. In the upper left corner, there's a worm eating a fruit. On the right side, Fofo is enjoying a hamburger and drink. And there's even the cake from the true ending. So let's start this one out with, what does Baba eat? Well, according to the words directly above me, Baba eats fruit. And it's a pretty easy new keyword to understand. The first noun destroys the second noun on collision. And the more important thing, you can see on the left side, fruit is defeat. So that object is destroyed with disregarding any sort of properties that it might have. And that's why it's fairly easy to figure out that, well, yeah. And so the flag is no longer stop. The wall, I guess, doesn't really matter if it's stop, push, defeat, shift, whatever. You can just go right through it. Get that thing right out of the way, solve the level. So this is the first of many new keywords that are going to be introduced. Directly above level 2 here, that's where the whole eat keyword is going to continue to be used. But even more, much like the original game, each one of the sections of these subworlds are going to involve some sort of new keyword. So from the right of level 2, that blue section is going to involve something new, and down from there, there's also going to be another new keyword introduced here too. Maybe not having nearly as much to do with food, but still placed in this world anyway. Too hungry. So obviously, me eat key. Means you destroy the key immediately, but the key being push, all you gotta do is just push that out of the way. You use the text here as a resource. Common theme in a lot of these levels. Make sure that me doesn't accidentally devour that thing. As flag, now I can destroy it, and it's done. It's very similar to the weak keyword, except the weak keyword means that an object is destroyed on collision with anything else. So this is a lot more specific, particular in how it works. Oh boy, empty keyword. Hey, who doesn't love that empty keyword? I was talking about last time, Enter the Infinity is just such a difficult one to wrap your head around. And thankfully this is a lot easier, but still, even from the very beginning, empty is stop, so you kind of can't really go anywhere, except stop that from being true. Also, grass is grass, and defeat, and weak, and Baba facing grass is empty. Alright, so yeah, Baba doesn't eat grass. Baba doesn't even get anywhere near grass. Let's just say that right now. And that little KK is empty in the bottom right corner means that you can't just do that same sort of thing that I was doing last time, where I make empty U, and you try to figure out how exactly this is going to work. Because as soon as I press left, yeah. There goes my win condition. Alright. But KK, eye on that cake. And I think it's pretty clear that if I try and make him a win condition, gets destroyed immediately. So the plan here is try and figure out how to stop that from happening. Is that going to involve the stop keyword? Oh, yes it is. Of course it is. Like what else? And I mean, you gotta remember that the way eat works, it doesn't matter what anything else has, what you're actually eating, it doesn't matter what sort of properties it has at all. Or if it even exists to a certain extent, because, you know, Baba can eat empty. And in fact, I'm gonna do that right now. And there we go. And if I also say make empty is stop, well, that can prevent KK from being able to walk forward. Unfortunately, now I can't press this down because, well, the open space underneath it is empty, and that means stop. So Baba can move through it nice and easily, but nothing else can through the emptiness, through the very solid emptiness that exists now in this level. So what do? Well, of course you have that grass for good reason. The problem, though, is that you can't actually do anything with the grass with Baba alone because, well, Baba disappears. And also it's kind of annoying to do anything with the grass, too, because being weak gets destroyed very easily. So what do you do? What's the actual plan? What do you need to... What is the proper way to accomplish this thing that you want to accomplish? Well, this is where using... Okay, enough with the eating empty right now. Cut that out. Well, this is where the whole having all of these the extra words around here is going to come in, because you can always use the text as a buffer. Text doesn't disappear. Text is going to stay here no matter what. And the plan, at least what I want to accomplish, is to try and get that text up there, so the text will be destroyed when I try to push in the... The text is going to be destroyed when I try to... Not that. Text is going to be destroyed when I try to push it into that space. Or, I mean, not the text. The grass is going to be destroyed when I try to push it into that space. And that's going to create the KK is win and move. Except because empty is stopped, he'll still be stopped, and I'll still be able to push that in because I'm pushing it onto grass, not onto empty. It's a very easy sort of thing to figure out, but actually executing it is kind of funky, sort of hard to understand. And this whole thing where you need to really play carefully with the is, just to make absolutely sure that you don't accidentally cause Baba to disappear just looking at the grass it's a weird thing. And additionally, I should remember that if I try and do this empty as stop right now, this will work for the most part. Oh no, it did work. Thought for some reason that there was some other thing that I need to do. Never mind. There's KK moving back and forth because KK cannot move in the halted void. And there we go. Just eat that empty right in front of him. A simple level, but only because it's fairly obvious even from the start that empty is going to be stop and you need to have Baba eating empty. Delicious words. Baba eat text. So that means that because eating works regardless of what the other properties of the object are, I'm going to eat the things before I push them. And that's something of an issue. However, that does mean that, hey, edge is no longer stop, which is pretty useful. And hey, and we are talking about delicious words, so let's eat words themselves, the text. Why not? Obviously, trying to go through here is going to be something of a no-go, just because either one, Baba is going to eat that, and then can't do anything, or two, even if you do that, yeah, need to have that flag as win. Now, the other thing important to note is that hedge and love is defeat, and the hedge has a love, which is why the immediate thing you probably want to think of doing is just doing the same thing as the what does Baba eat level. Go throw this down here. Unfortunately, it just gets immediately turned into something else that is going to be defeat. So what do you do? Well, it's actually super easy. Text as a resource, you know? Push that down there. Get that eat keyword right over here. And then although I can't get both of these, I can go sneak that hedge out of there now that it's no longer solid. And then, yeah, just kind of push your way right in. Get the flag is win right out of there. It's really easy to get to the flag. Friendly levels to start out with, which I appreciate. The end. Not actually the end of this series in any way, trust me. It's a very ironic title. So you can already immediately see a very decorated level. Look at all of those stone, like little cobblestone paths and like grass and everything on the ground. But that's clearly because in the bottom left corner, empty eat all and text. That's right, not just everything, but also text too. And then empty is left and move. So it's gonna destroy everything. But that's also the only way that I'm gonna be able to get flag as win. So yes, it's a sort of frightening thing how that empty moves. Okay, undo it here. The weird thing is, why does it move unevenly? I guess it's because there are two different objects on top of like the river there. You can see one extra piece of grass there for some reason. I didn't even notice that. So it doesn't eat everything equally, which I suppose is important to know, but it's going to eat everything eventually, Langolier style. That's why I need to figure out some way to not have that happen if I can. Actually, wait, let's... Okay, I'm gonna be kind of trying to get my way through here first to get over to the flag, as it were. And then, well, pillars being stopped. It's like, no, they're not. They're rocks. What are you talking about? Make that nice and simple. And then also, text as a resource, as always. All right, and then I'm going to need to be able to get over here, but that's actually super trivial. I just kind of, you know, go right around. Let's push this over so that's not immediately going to be destroyed as I'm doing this. And then, well, what else but try and start messing about with things as well as I can in the traditional Baba style. Now, I do know that there are several ways you can possibly end up trying to solve this. For example, you can just get rid of some of the empty tiles on the right side by filling them up with rocks or whatever. Because if there isn't an empty tile to go left and move... I mean, I don't actually want Baba's rock. Right, give me 1 second. But the way that I figured out how to do this is just to, well, make a whole bunch more Babas. Why not? If you got the chance to make a lot of Babas, why shouldn't you make a bunch of Babas? Although that does beg the question, much like in the first episode, something that I was thinking about. Why does Baba eat stuff? Why does Baba have a house that even exists in the first place? Baba is, and it can potentially be any entity at all, period. Just in the entirety of existence and whatnot. How can you ascribe things like being able to eat or live in some place to a character like Baba? Baba just... it is under the rules of the universe, which are manifold and difficult to understand, really. I don't really think that you can consider it a living creature in a lot of ways. Anyway. Existential questions for a different time. Let's just finish up that level. Just line it up correctly, and, you know, a couple turns after you get the whole destruction of that entire level, in the same way that it's destroyed the entirety of Baba as you at the beginning. Well, at the end of the previous series and talked about in the beginning of this one, you can finish it up easily. Appetizer. Skull without potato is win. And there's also a potato keyword, right? I don't even know what this level is. It's kind of very easy to understand. Also, I suppose would work well as an opening for this world too, but instead we're getting it in the A, B, C, D courses. Turnip has turnip. Skull eats turnip. And skull without turnip is win. There, no more turnips. These are some very, very easy levels. Main course. Skull eats burger. Burger has drink. Drink is defeat. Okay, but I need to get rid of the burger, and there needs to still be a skull, and, like, I don't even know how this is a challenge. Once again, it doesn't... There's a lot of things going on in here, but I can just kind of do this. There. Second that drink gets created, it also turns into a skull. You should call OSHA on that. And then, finally, grass makes a donut, and I gotta get rid of the donut to win. Well, I could just turn the donut into a skull, but then the constantly making more donuts doesn't really do much of anything for me. This is the first time that I want to take this eat keyword out of here, because I don't really want to get rid of the donut right now as much as I want to get rid of, the skull. I could also have done like grass is skull, except grass is grass, so can't get rid of it that way. And then, well, I can't get the eat back in there, so because donut isn't donut, there you go. Makes me wonder if all these levels were created in a way to ease you into the understanding of the eat keyword, but then eventually just kind of decided on what does Baba eat, but didn't want to get rid of the old levels or something. Strange. Last snack. Here's where we start getting into the real levels. Fruit is weak. The problem, though, is you can see Baba without fruit is defeat, so if I do this, gone. Because the second that fruit collides with the grass, it gets destroyed. So, can't have that. However, that means that doing this blocks you off from getting to the goal. So what do you do? What do you do? Well, this doesn't really have anything to do with eat now, does it? But hey, whatever. It's a level nonetheless. First off, let's get this out of here. As always, defeat is not a very helpful keyword, so I'll throw it in the lake. And then we're looking how to do this. Well, if I could get fruit as you, that would be something. But I don't think that's going to happen. If I can get fruit without Baba is you, but how do I get rid of Baba? Well, Baba is not Baba. We don't have the Baba is Baba sort of keywords in here, so how do you go about figuring this one out? Well, you can turn Baba into fruit, but then I can't get Baba fruit without Baba as you. However, there is another keyword that exists here. Just go get that one right in position. And once again, the real issue here right now. Oh yeah, and then the fruit is weak. I suppose it's just a total non-entity. I can't do anything with that. Now the real issue here is how do I get Baba to no longer be Baba? Well, I got fruit is right here, so line that one up just as well. And then I just need to go shove that Baba is you key phrase right in there. There we go. No more Baba, which means that the hedge is me. Yeah. Cute level. Oh, and that was the entire area. Not a tremendously difficult one. 2 more worlds opened up, and oh boy, that plain one is a doozy, but we'll get to that later. Lastest snack. Remixed version of the previous level. So fruit is weak, same thing as before. Though one of the big differences in this level, in the bottom right corner, fruit is fruit, and then no is defeat, which means eventually you're going to want to make fruit is you. That's just a very obvious way to do this. And then you can't really push around the hedge stuff anymore, so kind of get rid of, eliminate that as like even a possibility in your mind right now. Unfortunately. Well, that's how these remix levels work. They just take stuff that you already know and try to make it a little bit different. So, fruit without Baba is you. True, true. How do you get rid of Baba, though? When I was originally doing this, my idea was, well, maybe I can make Baba is defeat at the same time Baba is you. That just destroys whatever the is. If he is you and is defeat at the same time, then, well, the object is destroyed. It's one of those, can't be done at the same time, paradoxical type of combinations of stuff that just instantly destroys an object. You'll also see that with hot and melt. You'll also see that with open and shut. If you have 2 objects on sync, for example, sort of the same way. There's a bunch of things like that exist in the game. I'm betting that eat A noun eating the same noun would also do that, although I don't think that appears in any one of these levels. But what do you need to do? Well, it's actually super easy, as it turns out. It took me a while to kind of finagle together how to do this, but, you know, you can make multiple different things happen within one phrase. So, for example, I do have Baba is here. How do you make Baba is fruit? Well, you just line it up so that it says Baba is fruit without Baba is you. There's your phrase. It's that easy. And there you go. No more Baba, and we got the fruit. So, push right in there. It's one of those things where you never really I don't know, but for me, I don't want to read the word phrases that exist in the Baba is you in like one long continuous sentence. But there are some points in time where you got to do that because that's how it works. Exactly as it says. Speaking of way too long phrases that are hard to parse, not Baba without not hedge is a win. Okay. So I can't be Baba to start with. And there can be no objects that aren't hedges. So in other words, the only object that can exist on this map is the hedge. And that will be considered a winning state. So obviously hedge also has to be you. How do you do that? Well, we just use the infinite power of the not keyword. And there, now I control everything. Which is all well and good, but it's not going to solve the puzzle for me now, is it? So let's go back to Baba as you. Alright, so I gotta end up getting rid of everything that isn't a hedge. Well, there is an easy way to get rid of a lot of stuff, and that's just making not water is sink. So now everything else is sink except for water. Now I can't really say not Baba is you again, even though that would be one of the easiest ways to get back control of the hedge, but you know, I can also just take the hedge's stop right here. I mean, you know, this is that works too. Bam, bam. Destroy that, and then there we go. Hedge is you. I am without anything that isn't hedge. It's just trying to confuse you with a really weird winning state. But don't be confused. Clear your mind, and it'll be obvious what you need to do. Certainly anything but an English phrase. But, well, what are you going to do? Oh my god, look at the amount of things in this level. Okay. So, how do we even start this? Alright, Baba without me is you. If there is a me anywhere in play in this level, I don't control any characters, and that's a losing state. Well, potentially, because there is move. Even if Baba is not me, I can still have Baba moving around, or I can have me moving around, and that's going to be an important part of this entire puzzle and how to solve it. So the obvious thing is that I want to get by KK. KK is kind of in the way. KK is stop and defeat. So, you know. And also, even if I move KK out of the way, well, KK will move into me. So that's not very useful. What I can also do is maybe try and get KK to just kind of sit in the corner there. So I can just sneak on by. The problem, though, is now I can't push the win out of here. Well, what if I just got KK to push the win out of there? I can't get to the KK's move. Yeah, it's not going to work out too well. And KK being stop, even if KK wasn't stop, KK is defeat, so not going to happen. The other thing with KK being stop is that I could, well, here, let's go get KK to move like one more square. Is Baba being moved means that Baba can move like two tiles at a time. Unfortunately, KK being stopped means that as a solid object, you can't move towards KK. You just bounce right off of them. So none of those are going to work. Now there is, like, Baba is open, KK is shut. And that creates me, but, you know, now I don't have a Baba. Alright, that's not going to work then. So what's the actual approach? We can kind of keep going through every single way each one of these is going to work. But what's the actual approach that you're looking for? Well, in the bottom right corner, it says, me is not shut. Okay, that's a start. That's a start, because that implies that you want me to be open. So there's something. Either KK or me has to have Baba. Because KK is going to have to get out of the equation, unfortunately. Now, I think the fact that you have two me's, two me keywords, says you probably want it to be that me has Baba. And then you want to destroy me. How are you going to do that? Well, let's say Baba is shut, me is open. So even if I lose control of Baba, by creating a me, by, say, destroying KK, because KK has me after all, then all I need to do is I just need to have me and Baba collide together, and that will just create a Baba with no ways to stop me from getting to that win keyword. How are we gonna do that? Well, it's gonna be very hard to try and get... I mean, I suppose I can make KK open, which is something. I mean, there's some sort of possibility there. But then how am I going to be able to get another Baba there? So that's not going to work. Well, something important to know is that while KK is not Baba, KK can turn into me, and that will cause me to have... not me. And that will cause the player character that constitutes myself as a Baba in play at the same time that there is a me, which is good. But I need Baba and me to collide. So how do we do this? Well, first off, last thing that we should do is get a me into play. And I think that the best way to do this, let's push KK up here. I'm going to want it to be like this. Why am I going to want it to be like this, you might ask? Well, here's the thing. If Baba is move, for example, then what will happen is even if I don't have control over Baba, Baba will continue to go back and forth. And if I position KK on the left there, that means Baba will run into the me that is newly created. And that's sort of the start of what we're looking for. So, how do we get all these things together in the way that they need to be? Well, it's actually pretty simple. I think it's just start out with exactly what I was doing before. Although first off, I do need to get KK into place. KK just needs to be right here. And there we go. And now, pretty much the same thing that I was doing last time. The end goal is going to be to push this is into place. And then we'll have Baba sit up here, for example. Let's get move in here as well. Baba moving, it makes Baba a little bit hard to control, so let's just let's do that as like one of the last things I end up doing. KK is going to turn into me. So let's sneak that in there. Well, like I said, remember, pushing up from this point is going to be the last thing that I do. So yeah, now all I need to do is I just need to have me be open, Baba be shut, and that will and me has Baba, and there we go. That's everything I need to do to solve this puzzle now. That will destroy me. That will create a Baba without either KK or me there. And then I'll solve the puzzle. So, me has Baba. Me cannot be shut, but me can be open. Now I just need to say that Baba is shut, and we're ready to execute this incredible plan. So, let's do it. And there you go. Now I am going to get rid of the Baba is move, because, like I said, that is kind of annoying to try and move around when I got that going on. The other thing is, remember right now that I do need to... I might be able to get the win out of there, but I do need to get like a win condition working. So let's just push it here, and then by pushing win to the end, Baba will be you, Baba will be win. Yep, that'll do it. So this is one of those puzzles that really tries to confuse you with a lot of things here. But the name Mixed Identity, really, is a good hint that it's like you're gonna want KK to turn into me to turn into Baba eventually. It's a tough level. It is a tough level. All right, let's get into some new keywords. With feeling dangerous. Flag feeling win is defeat. So this means that if flag has the like action, the verb of win, it's also defeat, which means, yeah. However, I do need to have something win, so I mean, why does it need to be the flag? Yeah, I mean, Baba feeling win isn't defeat. There you go. And there's your... So yeah, it's sort of a flag. Yes. Yes, that's right. A flag that checks to see if there is another... like the verb being applied to that object. So flag feeling defeat is win. And kind of, again, a paradoxical type of phrase. If the flag's not feeling defeat, it's not win. So, what do you do? Well, strap yourself in. Let's just say, how about this? Shell is text, Baba is Shell, Shell is you. This is certainly a way to do it. Well, here, how am I going to end up doing this? Actually, I think instead of that, because there is one simple way to make this work, and how do you get a defeat object to be win? Well, you use that old invincibility trick that I showed you in the treacherous wetlands level in the last episode. An object having an object. Yes, I think the easier way to do this actually is probably Shell is your Baba has text. Yeah, it's like an object having the same object. A noun has the same noun means that what'll happen is it will just instantly spawn another one the second that it gets destroyed. So all I need to do is have Baba has Baba or something like that. Oh wait, I do need to have flag as defeat here, don't I? Will be a way to, well, do exactly that. And that's sort of the plan right now. And Baba has text means that on being destroyed, Baba will instantly spawn a Baba. Hooray! And this is again going way back into advanced Baba-isms. Because like, oh boy. Well, here. There we go. Now, just need Baba has Baba, I need flag to be defeat, and we're done. This is a weird way to do this, but, you know, it does really get you used to some of the more, like I said, advanced things going on here. So yeah, Baba got defeated, but then instantly spawned a new Baba. And since that all happened in the same turn, well, I get to win. SEASICK. Another one, I get the feeling that maybe looking at some of these levels that the developer didn't really have too many ideas of what to do with the feeling keyword. That it's like, okay, well, I get it, but like I don't really. Anyway, Baba is green. Baba not being green is not me, but I need that flag to also be green. But both the flag and Baba are also word. So what I can do is I can just do like this. Oop, didn't mean to do that. Then like I can push add there. Now the flag is green. But how do I get onto there without pushing off Baba? Well, I mean, Baba is also word, so I can just do that. That's not really a particularly challenging level. And then finally, once more with feeling, which I'm going to say right now sort of really reinforces my idea that maybe there weren't really a lot of ideas of exactly what to do with the feeling keyword. So we got crab feeling crab immediately. And taking a look inside of the area, the hedge area, whatever you want to call it, the clear way to have this win, create a win condition, is to have crab feeling stop is win. Because it's kind of hard to get in there without, it's kind of hard to get like crab is win, for example, in there. So that feeling is going to have to be used as kind of a buffer keyword. And then that is there. There are two ises in the like the area of play right now. I could just get the second crab keyword to be in there to say crab is stop, and then try and figure out some way to get on top of the crab. You know, sort of like I did with the bear level from last time, BARE. in case it wasn't clear what I was talking about. Nah, forget about that though. I'm not doing any of that. I'm gonna have to admit right now, I'm not entirely sure if this is a solution, but if this is the intended solution, but this is the solution I figured out how to do. Because, I mean, the thing is, with the whole algae turning into hedge, well, it's kind of hard to get all of the keywords in there. So, instead what I'm going to do is just ignore it. Because one of the fun things with how teleport works is that although it's going to turn, and although that algae is going to turn into a hedge the second that I step onto it, the crab can go on there easy enough. And then I'll just turn that into another teleporting thing. And there we go. Now what I can do instead is forget about this whole feeling thing. Push that up. Get that back on there. And then, well, here, can I get the algae back on there then? I mean, I don't want to accidentally turn that into algae, to be honest. Okay, and now I can just say, like, forget about the whole shell thing. Push this over here. And now shell is win. That didn't use the feeling keyword at all. I don't know, man. Whatever works. Sorry, Himpuli, I'm ruining your game. You knew it was gonna happen like that, though. So yeah, the final level of the feeling part of the world doesn't even include the feeling keyword at all. Yep. Anyway, teeth is rock. KK is teeth, and we also got a new thing, revert. Which, I mean, you can tell probably right now that the way it works is that it turns objects that have turned into other objects back into the previous object that they were. Doesn't keep them there permanently, as you can still see that KK is turning into teeth constantly. Which, by the way, what a horrifying new noun to throw into play here. Easy to understand. Be prepared for that being used in weird ways now. Okay, lizard is you. The tree is win. Stump is not husk, so you can't just turn it back into husk. Nor can you turn it stump into tree because of the way that the fence is there. Well, yeah, you can see if I just wait a little bit. And there we go. Not very useful like this, but there is the revert keyword over there. Let's go push this in there. I'm going to need at least one of these things. However, the rest of the items, I guess I really don't, right? So, text as a resource comes in yet again. Text is not floating or anything like that. Stump might not be husk, but that does not matter. Stump does not need to be husk. Stump need only be revert. And that's the entire puzzle. Hooray, we did it, everybody! You can see that revert goes to the first in that row. Revert did not revert back into the husk, it reverted all the way back into the tree. Seasons. Okay, so immediately here, seed is sprout is flower is tree is husk is stump. And then also fungi is fungus is flag, which is the one I need. That's the win condition. Is leaf is foliage. So kind of letting it go there. And then with stump being revert, it immediately turns back into seed. So what are we doing here? Also, I got 2 Fofos for whatever that matters, really. Well, I think first off, let's make stump as push. I want it to be pushed over here, because you can see how there's kind of that is. Well, that's a good hint as to what you want to do with this entire thing. I also got flower. Flower can be pushed if I want. But the other thing is that I can kind of catch it in the middle of stuff here, so that now instead of going through the whole seed to stump, now it just goes seed to flower and then back to seed. Which, why is that useful, you might say? Well, trust me, it is, but not in a way that's immediately obvious. Then the push thing, we can just push in here. So the idea here is that if I were to say that flower is stump, flower at the same time is also tree, creating 2, count them, 2 objects. And that means that those 2 objects can be used as another like buffer to be able to get through this. Because obviously, yes, I could, I can sacrifice Fofo there and everything, which I will. And I can sacrifice, say, the stump or whatever sort of object it happens to be, as its flower, I suppose, is the other pushable object that you have here. But the problem is that that's not enough to get to the foliage. And text being float means you can't push the text into that water. So what do you do? What do you do? Well, flower is stump and flower is tree creates 2 objects. So that means that I'll have 2 objects to be able to actually, you know, use to dunk into the water over there. The only thing is that I have to catch them before it turns, they both turn into stumps. Because sync will get rid of all objects on the square. So I need to have them on different squares to be able to destroy the most water possible. Alright, let's start here. Go get you going. This is actually very easy to figure out. It's just the execution is a little bit difficult to kind of get into play. Because what I'm going to need to do here is I'm going to need to get, before the flower turns into the tree, I'm going to need to get that flower to also turn into the stump. Well, here, I'm going to need to push this over a little bit more. And then I also need one of those things to be push. So I think like this should do it. Now I need to get that flower into play. And this sort of setup that I have here right now, with the Fofos being on top of each other, should be able to let me get everything in there as I need. Although, let's, okay, so I need flower is stump. No, wait, I'm trying to remember exactly how this works. Need, okay. This is one of these puzzles that as soon as you realize that you can create an extra object with the Flowers stump, flowers tree at the same time. It's fairly obvious how this is going to work. It's just the execution is kind of difficult. Okay, wow, I can't believe it took me so long to remember exactly how I had this lined up before. Although I swear I did something, I can't remember what it is now, related to the Fofos being above each other in some way. Oh well, whatever. I suppose it doesn't really matter. This should do it nice and easy. Although, here, give me 1 second. Let me, yeah, kind of wait for that. There, push, push. And then that being on an is, that in fact is okay. So, I can deal with that just fine. Because all I need to do is just have foliage is revert up there then, and that is, that's the only thing that matters. Okay. Here, come over here. Old, stump of wood. And there is, and then I just need to push that revert in there. And then it'll kind of go back and forth between being a flag and not being a flag, but I suppose that doesn't really matter. It will create the winning, winning thing anyway, eventually. Okay, wow, seasons. I get the basics of it, but I'll be honest, it's like still kind of tripping me up, clearly. All right, this is a lot of stuff going on here. But number one thing, pumpkin is push. Kill jack-o'-lantern. It's adorable. And obviously I'm going to need to turn it into a bunch of different objects. Box is shut, flag has win, grass is defeat and melt. So I'm going to need to get rid of that. What is hot then? Fruit is hot. Okay, so hot fruit. The key is weak. So I can't really have keys be sort of in the rotation immediately. But I am going to need to have keys, fruits, and pumpkins, because something's going to need to be pushed as well, and I don't think I can have multiple stuff like that. So, I do also have an and. So I think, like, fruit and key is a good thing, instead of going for just is. Key might be weak, but you can easily make it into the reverting object. Or you don't have to have that be the reverting object. All you need to do is just have things be created pretty much constantly. So yeah, and then fruit will be revert. Fruit will revert back into the pumpkin, which will then turn into two objects like that. Cool. And then just push it. Gonna be a little bit of a pain to get working for me, but I can very easily get this inside here. Obviously the lamp there is built to make that sort of a one-way road, but that's okay. And there, now it just creates infinite keys. Look at the amount of keys there. A surprisingly easy level. All I gotta do is just realize that it's not supposed to be pumpkin is fruit is key, and that you're just supposed to have a bunch of keys. Makes that a lot easier. So a fairly simple one to end it compared to seasons. It required a lot of brain power on my end, apparently. Oh man. All right, and that is the entirety of the Land of Delicacies. Next up, I think probably gonna end up going on the overworld over to a simple maze.